Good day. So now that we have installed Laravel and installed phpMyAdmin, we can now proceed to configuring Laravel. So to do that, first you have to move everything out of this Laravel directory and put it inside the root directory of the project, which is this my project. So copy everything inside, click on the first folder inside the Laravel directory, and then press on the shift key on your keyboard and then select the last file. Now right click on it and click on the cut. Now click on the root directory, right click on it and paste. Okay, so now we can delete the Laravel directory because it's no longer necessary. So delete. Okay, so next we need to move the index.php file outside of the public directory so that you do not need to do something like this. So if you remember from our previous video, you have to do something like that so that you can access the home page of the project. So now what we're doing is that we have to move everything out of this public directory so that you can access the home page by using this URL. Okay, so we have to move this out, actually move everything out. So select this favicon.ico, press on shift and then select this robot.txt, then right click, cut, and we move to the root directory as well, right click, paste. Okay, so now we don't have a need for this public directory, so delete it. Next, open the index.php file. Now we have to configure this. Because now it's pointing to the wrong directory. So it's now saying that this is called a magic constant. So it just shows you it returns the current directory, so this one, because the index.php file is directly inside this my project directory. So it's saying we're in my project and then it's moving out and then go inside the bootstrap folder. But now we don't need to go out because index.php is now relative to the bootstrap directory, so you have to remove this. Then the same is true with this. Okay, so that's all we need to do. Now if we check it, we should now be able to see Laravel here when we access this URL. Okay, so it says something went wrong. So go back to c9.io and then we need to know what specifically went wrong. So to do that, you have to go to the app, oh no, config directory, and then app. So open that app.php file and make the default configuration for app debug to true, so that we can see the actual error. So refresh. So it says no supported encryptor found, the cipher and or key length are invalid. So in Laravel we have the app key, so it's being used to secure the application. So go into your bash, and then we can now generate a key. So if we open this app.php file, you can see here the app key. So now it's being set to some random string. So that's the default one if it cannot find the environment configuration. So first, let's actually create the environment file. So right click on the root directory, then select new file and type in .env. So this will be the environment configuration. Refresh. Okay, so I cannot find the env file anymore. Let's create new one. It says it's already exists, but I cannot find it here. So it seems we cannot find the .env file in here, so we have to go to the bash and then edit it using nano. So nano.env. So now we can set the app debug. So let's set it to true, then we can actually change it back here to false, because this false is the default configuration if it cannot find this file, .env file. So it's safe to set this to false as the default. But since we have the env file which is set to true, it's actually using this as the configuration. So now you have to set the key. So we say app key is equal to the random string. So let's just say some random string for now, then save it, Ctrl X, Y, and then enter. So now we have to generate the key. We can do that using the artisan tool. So Laravel comes with this artisan command line tool, which you can use with the PHP artisan command. So enter. Now we have a list of commands that we can use. So this is the one that we need. So the description is to set the application key. So to use that, you can say PHP artisan key : generate. So this is now the random key that we can use. So copy this, Ctrl C, and then we can now open the env file. Oh, so it's actually automatically set, which is nice. so we don't need to edit that. Now it should this work. Okay, so it's now working. We now see the welcome page. So next, we can actually configure the database as well. So the database configuration is found in the config directory under the database.php file. So open that. Now we're using MySQL, so this is the one that we need to look at. So as you can see, these are the fields that we have to set in our environment file. So db host, db database, db username, and db password. So we go into the bash and edit the env file again. So it says db host. So db host is always localhost. db database. So our database is called my project. So we say my project. Next is the username and the password. So db username, so we already know that, root, and then the password is secret. Control X, Y, enter. Now we should be able to connect. So let's try by opening the routes.php file, which can be found under the apps app, http, and then routes.php. So instead of returning the welcome view, we use the database. So actually we do not have any table yet, so let's create one. Testing. So let's say 2 columns. First one is the ID and should be the primary key and auto increment. So if you check this one, it will just use the ID as something like this. So the first row that will be added will have an ID of 1, the second will have ID of 2, and so on. So varchar to store a string, so let's say 60, then it should be okay. So save. Now let's add something. Okay, so now we go back here and use the database. So people, then we use the db class, then the table method to get the table that we want. So name of table is testing, so we say testing, then we use the get method to access the contents. So now we can return the people. So save, then we go here, refresh. So now these are the contents of the table. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. Wait, let's check the configuration first. I guess you don't need to use this. So that's it.